All right, firmly rooted family. This is Pastor Tom and my lovely bride, Kimberly. And we really just want to catch you up on a lot of things. We know that these are challenging times, and for all of us, for everyone, for the church, everyone out there in society. And so, as a ministry, we're trying to do everything that we can do. And if there's anything that we're not doing that you need to make us aware of, please do private message us. But we want to talk to you about a few things, and we really can use some of your feedback. We don't have the ability for you to talk to us in the lobby or catch us at church and say, hey. So here we're trying to do services a different way. We're trying to do Bible studies a different way. We're praying every day in the morning. We're trying to do everything we can to keep you ministered to and to minister to a community that I think is ripe to hear the gospel. And so we're trying to do some things, and so we're looking for your feedback. But talking about ministering to you, much of what Kimberly and I are doing is on YouTube, Instagram, the kinds of social media stuff. But there are people at Firmly Rooted that aren't in it. They don't have it. And I'm not talking about just the elderly. I know 30 and 40-year-olds that don't have a Facebook account. So I want to make sure that we're ministering to all of you in the best way possible, or that you're getting to someone where you can be ministered. Like if you don't have a Facebook account, maybe your wife does. But the elders, the leaders of the church, Kimberly and I, what we don't want is a month and a half to go by and members of Firmly Rooted saying, nobody loved on me, nobody cared for us, because we are praying like crazy and we care a lot. We just don't know who we're reaching and who we're not reaching. And so we need your feedback. We need you as leaders of the church to help the pastoral office, especially you elders, by going down and who's been at Firmly Rooted worshiping and who haven't we contacted, who haven't we seen. Keep some communication lines going, even if it's as simple as just giving them a phone call. Just call somebody up and say, hey, how you doing? Once a day. Call somebody new once a day, see how you're doing. Because I can't keep up with everyone, and neither can Kimberly. And then maybe there are some people who need to talk. Kimberly and I, and even some of the elders, are willing to set some time aside and maybe do a phone conversation or a Facebook Messenger video conference or a Zoom conference where, look, these are challenging and hard times, and we need to bear with each other. We need to be supporting one another. Going back to a sermon that I preached way back at Eagle Creek, we're walking each other home. And how do we do that virtually? How do we do that when we're living in isolation? So those are all things that are on Kimberly's and my mind every single day. All of you, and are you being loved on and cared for like you should? Are your spirits being lifted and uplifted with our messages and things? Are you even getting the messages? And then ultimately, what about a society out there that's probably asking a lot of questions about God? And maybe we can be the source of some of those answers. All right, so that's the spiritual side of kind of what we're doing. But let's talk about some of the actual structure and business kinds of things. The executive board has been watching during this whole coronavirus thing, starting in January, February, watching the donations and giving to Firmly Rooted in relationship to our budget. And there has been some significant differences between what the expectation was and what we're getting. And we understand it. This conversation is not in any way judgmental or punitive. It is, we need to adjust because things are adjusting for all of you. Some of you may have lost jobs. Some of you may be losing jobs. Some of you may have been in the service industry and you can't work. We get it. We get it. So some things that our executive board did is, number one, the office. So want to talk about the office for a sec?
Sure. So many of you have been to our office. which gives us a physical address throughout the week. And that's behind Red Naps in downtown Oxford. We've been there for what, 3, 4, 5 years?
4 or 5 years now.
And we've been talking even as early as 6 months ago, about the utilization of the office and how it's used and things like that. And we spend how much a month on that?
With utilities and all the kind of supplies and things, it's upwards of $3,000 a month.
About $3,000 a month. And most of the time has been recently Virginia, our office assistant, and Pastor Tom in there. I'm in there on Mondays. We have it, used for a few other things, but a lot of the time it's empty. So what the executive board did through lots of conversation and prayer was they have decided to let the office go, give that back to the landlord effective the end of April. We'll be moved out of there. And I don't see it as a step back. I just see it as what God is doing next, at Firmly Rooted. Never has it been more real that the church isn't a building, right? The church isn't a building. We're not locked in anywhere. We've always said as a young church, our flexibility is we can be nimble. We can move when we need to move. So we just didn't think that during this time, about $3,000 a month was a wise expenditure of funds for a building that isn't used all that much. So as you can see, we've moved PT's office into what was a few days ago the playroom.
This was the grandkids' playroom. So the next time when they come out of isolation and come visit, they're gonna turn right out of the doorway and go, "Where are all my toys?"
Yep. So he's working from home now, and you could just pray for me,
Whoa,
with that,
whoa.
a little bit more, step that up. But yes, we'll need to pack up and move out of that office by the end of April. There's a couple, we feel really comfortable with this, really good about it. And, if there's a time and a place for us to have an office space again that we lease, we'll just step into that when God leads us to do that. So that's fine. Know that we're going to have the office phone number forwarded, and we'll be still getting your calls. And that probably leads us to Virginia. Why don't you talk
about the phone number, though? Since you mentioned the phone number.
Oh, yeah.
We are.
I'll just talk about it.
Yeah, we have a Google number, right?
Yep. We have a Google number. So on Sunday mornings, if you've seen text your name and number, your email address to this number, that's a Google number. It's a real phone number. It dials, it texts, the whole thing. And that phone number now is what you can call if you need to reach us. And we'll put it on all of our literature. We'll send it out in a loop. But if you're taking notes right now, it's 248-429-7121. And know that will come to me. And then either I'll get back to you or whoever, needs to address whatever question you have, will get back to you in a timely manner.
And so one of the things we're looking at, even ourselves, is where is the office number on any online, even in my own contacts. I still have to go into my own contacts. My footer, my at the end of my emails, it still has the wrong number in it. So what I'm telling you is, just like Kimberly and I have to go everywhere Firmly Rooted is out there and change the contact number, please go into your contacts. Go into your contact that you have for us or for Firmly Rooted and change that number to 248-429-7121. And that's really going to help, because the quicker we do that, we can take down that internet-based number, stop paying for the internet at the office. And then we have, obviously, over the next few weeks, the need to decide whether we're going to throw some things away, we're going to keep some things, and then where or how are we going to keep them.
And the beauty in using this new number is that you can text it. Not everybody has something that they need to call about all the time.
You couldn't text that other number.
You couldn't text the office number. So that's a good one. So you can start using that right away. You can say, hey, I got the number, text us. That'd be great.
And you were talking about Virginia.
Yep.
Virginia has been a blessing to us, and she's been awesome. But with the...
And she's funny. She gives him a hard time. He doesn't get away with anything. So
all righty. Same at home, same at work. So it's just a mirage that I might be the boss. But Virginia, we've cut her hours because she's not in the office covering those man hours. And so we have taken her from 24 hours a week down to 8, and she's been willing to accept that at this point. She may look for some other part-time work to support that. She's also going to be tracking her hours, because we're guessing it's 8 hours. It could be 10, it could be 12, and the executive board is willing to make adjustments wherever that needs to be. And so just
she's doing that from home.
Yeah, and she will now be working from home and basically doing some of the secretarial, watching the office at firmlyrooted.org, doing some things with the daily devotions every day, and making sure they get out there on the websites and get out there on Facebook. So those are predominantly some of the things that we're going to have her keep doing. But just know how gracious she's been, and I think her words were, protecting Firmly Rooted, and all Firmly Rooted is doing is got to be number one. And to have a young lady say that when her hours are being cut was moving to me and
Beautiful.
stunning. So, so with that, we thank you, Virginia. If you get a chance to see this, another change the executive board did, and they actually started talking about this before the coronavirus thing, approved it before the coronavirus thing, and then all of a sudden, overnight, we needed it. And that is, we've hired Aaron Jackson part-time to do video, social media kinds of stuff. So if you've liked the services, the Bible studies that we've done over the last 3 Sundays, it's because Aaron has used his gifts and his talents to pull it together and make it what it is. But what timing? What timing? We've needed him desperately, that gift, that ability, and he's brought it to the table in a big way at a time when we needed it desperately. Any thoughts on that, on Aaron?
All I can say is, it used to be like me holding my phone, trying to record when he did stuff, which was fine. It had its season. But we're in a little bit of a different season now. And since Aaron has started doing this with us, we have seen a really big increase in the engagement. People that are finding us.
Good point.
That haven't found us before. Whether it be through YouTube or Facebook, people that are commenting, people that are asking to be getting our communications through Breeze. So that's something that wasn't happening when it was me holding up my phone. So with Aaron's
or was even happening with what we were doing on an average Sunday.
That's true.
On an average Sunday when we were live streaming, we were not getting responses like we're getting. Said another way,
it's big.
In every aspect, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Breeze, and even financial giving, we've seen, because of the way Aaron's weaving those things and giving opportunities and providing that information throughout a Bible study or throughout a message, we've seen an increase in all those. And I'm not talking about from Firmly Rooted folk. I'm talking about from non-Firmly Rooted folk. And so it's having a real difference.
And let me jump one more thing about that. One really great thing that we're seeing blessing in is how you are sharing, whether it's through YouTube or Facebook.
Oh my.
Because if you start a watch party, if you share the video afterwards, people are watching. We had our service 2 weeks ago. The views, you can see the number of views on Facebook, and it's over 2,000. That doesn't mean none of us thinks that means that they watched from the beginning to the end, but people were engaged for at least a little bit of time. So that's something that I just feel like God is using this technology during this time for all of the churches, for all of God's people, to get the word out to the lost, and some people that are so sad and desperate right now and don't know where to turn, and they're isolated. So if you have the opportunity to use your Facebook to share, do that, or share the YouTube link. It's pretty passive. You aren't boldly saying, hey, can I tell you about my friend Jesus? because some people get nervous at that. All you're doing is sharing a link, and you're leaving the work up to God and the Holy Spirit to moving somebody to click on that.
Yeah.
And the seed is planted.
It's up to the Holy Spirit to decide to get them to click or not. But what
Yeah.
I'm telling you is they're clicking.
Mm-hmm.
So whether you start a watch party live or whether you share it after the fact, we have statistical proof that it's making a difference. And some of those people have asked to get continual mailings. They're staying in touch. Some of them are praying with us at 9:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's everything that the ministry of Jesus Christ should be doing, which is making a ripple effect.
Mm-hmm.
We're having a ripple effect.
It's across the country, around the world.
Firmly Rooted has been praying for over a year that God would go before us and he would make hearts favorable. And so he's doing just that.
Mm-hmm.
So back to ministry, which is what it's all about. We want to hear from you. Private message, text message through the new number 248-429-7121. How are we doing? How are you doing? Is there anything that you need? Would you like to just talk? Would you like to just pray? We want to get the elders engaged. Kimberly and I will be engaged. I know there's other leaders that would be willing to engage, but we do not want a month from now to come by and someone say, my church didn't reach me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, ways you can be connected. If you are connected, YouTube, Tom Donnelly, Firmly Rooted, boom, you'll find it. Playlists, Bible studies, messages, 90 Seconds with God. Our Facebook page has all of it. 90 Seconds with God, messages, Bible studies. We're now praying at 9:30, Monday through Saturday.
On Facebook.
We're going to be adding coming up that I'm going to have one, if not 2 times a week, where I'm going to be offering a code to get on a Zoom conference, and let's just have a conversation with the pastor.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just talk.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just talk about life and what's going on. And so that's it. I think we're nearing 20 minutes, and so we want to stop and just say that we love you, we appreciate you. We feel big things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that this whole tone has been uplifting,
Mm-hmm.
encouraging. The changes we've made, we're not regretting them. We don't feel that they were bad or wrong or woe is me. We believe that although this is incredibly hard,
Mm-hmm.
we are working harder right now than we did before this. We're going to be, there's some fields are white and we're going to be reaping some harvest.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is what it's all about, friends.
Mm-hmm.
So give us some feedback. Let us know what you think. We're going to send this out via Bree's text and Bree's email. And there again is one last thing. If you know somebody who isn't in Breeze, they're not going to get this update. So share it with them and tell them to give us their information. All right. God's blessings and have a firmly rooted day. Peace.